Terry, Tom, and myself. Welcome back for a Terry wants to make he's feeling pretty good about himself with the international picks, Tom.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Wild and crazy.
It's a lot of fun, I'll tell you that. I'm learning a lot too, so.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I got it. So we were talking about before we came on air. I was really, really salty when I went back and looked at the results today because I was deciding the way I do my international picks between Winter Power and Sueño for that one spot in the race where I had my long shot in there. Paid $24. I mean, I could be $24 to show now. And that horse came in second. And when I saw that superfecta was like trifecta was like $2,400. I almost fell out of my chair crying. And I know Terry had that horse. So maybe if you put our picks together right now, you're sitting on your couch laughing at me for not having it.
As long as you kept Golden Pal out of there, you were in good shape.
Yeah, I should have kept Golden Pal out of there. That just when you're this close, but yet that far.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I just think the straightaway is not his game.
Looks like you're right.
It's a tough way. You know, if you're not used to that, and they don't train on it, it's tough. And it's how they train. And I didn't think he had it. I thought he was going to burn himself out, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he finished in the mid pack, but he didn't beat any. You know, he wasn't in front of any good horses. There were, the good ones all passed him by.
It still just drives me absolutely nuts, just to be that close, but yet that far, all at the same time. So this today, that's exactly how. That's why I don't have my hat on because my head swelled up too big. It don't fit. From being angry.
Since I wasn't close, I don't have to worry about that.
So where are we going to go today, Tom? What parts of the world are we going to visit today with Tom and Terry?
We're going to finish up York. There's 3 races there we're going to cover, and then we're going to head over to Randwick for the first Group 1 of the season down in Australia. And it's turned out to be a pretty good race.
Well, I think we'll start down in Australia because that's they say you remember the first thing. So the first thing is over on the show, right? And the last thing, I don't want people remembering my Australian pick. So we'll start there instead. I think that's a better idea. So let's go ahead and get started at Royal Randwick, right? That's the name of the joint. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
All right. And then that's going to be the Winx Stakes. If I got all this correctly from Tom, is that right? Oops, that's the wrong screen right there.
That one.
This is the screen I'm looking for right here.
Yeah, that's
we're doing a little bit of multitasking while we're coming on air here, getting ready to get all of the stuff prepared for our podcast last night with jockey Trevor McCarthy and getting all that stuff up. That's what you saw there, the video and all that. So anyway, back to Winx in Australia for the Royal Rumble. That's what I want to think of, WWE. And with all these horses in the this field, it's sort of like the Royal Rumble at the WWE.
Well, these are some darn good. I mean, there's some good horses. There are a lot of Group 1 winners in this bunch, and you can throw a dart in some cases because of the number of horses that are coming off layoffs.
Do they run around circles this time? Do they go straight? Do they uphill, downhill? Are they jumping over rivers? What do they do in Australia?
Yes and no, yes. This is I can't remember now. Let me dig it up. I can't find my page. Of course. I got you.
That's okay.
All right. Well, I can't find what I'm looking for.
You're going to have to rely on the old man memory, my friend. Can't fail you now.
Life's a bowl of cherries.
Yeah.
I mean, this, as I said, there are a lot of coming off layoffs. So I took one that wasn't coming off a layoff. And that was number 1, Coding, who has barrier 10. He does have a race. He raced in a Group 2. A comment line on it was a bit disappointing. Well, I always like to think it's the first race of the season. So let's give it a race and let's see what happens. It's run good way. It seems to be one of those horses that either runs really well or is a stinker. Yep. So I'm going to go, since he had a stinker, let's see if he can win. He's a Group 1 winner. His barrier races were his barrier race, I should say, was good. Prior to that race, he wasn't winning them, but that's not the purpose of them. And so I think he's got a good chance in here. I went with the favorite, number 12, Very Elegant. Is barrier 5, and that's a good starting position. She's been off for 4.5 months. Near the end of her season, she faced a horse by the name of Abby B. That horse just happened to run second to St. Mark's Basilica not too long ago.
A good horse.
So she's faced some of the better horses even in Europe. So, and they were starting to think arc with her, but I think they've backed off on that one. To get her legs stretched, she finished 4th in her barrier race. She's won this race last year. The only negative that I think needs to be pointed out is 5 times coming off a layoff with this horse. She only has 1 win, and she's placed twice. And
I'm big on cycles, so that tells me it's a little worrisome.
That's the concerning thing for me. She's definitely got the pedigree and everything else to win this race, and she did it last year. But it bothers me a little the first race off the layoff. So now number 3, Cascaden, barrier 7.
It's about 8.5 to 1.
Yeah, he's mixed results off layoffs. So he not great, not bad. It's type of thing. He lost my top choice in the past, but he does pick up the top jockey in Hugh Bowman, and he did ride him in the barrier trials, which I think is always a good sign. For his record is 26 starts with 6 wins and 8 placings, so he's been right in there, and he is a Group 1 winner. And he is owned by Godolphin,
who've had a good year for sure.
Who's doing just fine. And so I throw him in. I think he's got a chance here. I still think my top one with a race in hand has got a better chance.
All right, and that top one was Colding again, right?
Yep.
All right, Terry, do you have a top one?
I do, and I like number 2. Think It Over. Likes firm surface, has tactical speeds, had 2 wins and 2 seconds out of 6 starts. And then I like number 13, Very Elegant. He's done very well in graded stakes, and pretty good horse. Then number 10, Mount Papa, won 2 in a row, is going for the hat trick, and he's won 3 out of the last 4 races. And then number 12, She's Ideal, always in the mix, seems like.
Funny. That guy don't need to be on the show anymore. 13, Very Elegant, top pick. Number 10, Mount Papa, my second pick, Mount Popa. Number 2, Think It Over, third pick. And number 4, She's Ideal, number 12. So, there you go. The only other horses I wrote down the 7, the 2, the 10, the 11, the 12, and the 13. And then I've narrowed it down to those 4. So those are my picks in Australia. They, Very Elegant, done very well in the high-graded races for sure. Mount Papa stepping up in class, got to prove he can do it. Number 2, Think It Over, has run well at the Royal Randwick, so that's why I went there. And number 13, She's Ideal, really hasn't run any bad races yet, so I think one of those 4 is probably the winner. I think probably Very Elegant probably is your winner here, but we'll find out when they run him at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, Tom? Is that about
this one is the last race of the card. So that'll be more like about 1:32 for Central Time. So it'll be our Saturday, but early in the morning.
I'll be long sleeping for sure. That's tonight.
That is tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, but it would be.
It started around 9:30 roughly.
All right, so that is tonight then. Okay, yeah. Fantastic. And then now let's head on over to York Racetrack. Right, that's the next spot on the card. So let's pull up that race. The first one, I hope I got these right, is the Strensall Stakes. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. So let's open that up.
For a mile?
Yep, 1 and 1 furlong.
3 for a mile.
Yeah. So is that a mile and a mile and a 16th, right?
Yeah, it's just a little over a mile. This is an interesting bunch because there's some droppers in here, and there's some that have performed okay. and then there's the favorite. And so here's how I went. I took number 1, who also has draw 1, Lord Glitter. Drops from Group 1 races. He's been running okay, but not winning.
No.
But then, of course, he's faced Palace Pier twice. Not many people beat Palace Pier this year, like nobody.
No.
So that's a tall order. One in Dubai, Group 1 race there. So he's had to make the transition in terms of racing okay, but not winning. He will definitely be at the back of this pack. That's his style. The inside has been doing very well there, so that's always a very positive thing to see. My biggest negative with him is he is top weight, and that's because of his win. So he's going to carry 12. So that's a hefty weight considering that, like El Drama is giving him, he's carrying 8, 12. He's a 3-year-old too, so gives you an idea of the weight differences. So
I don't think a lot of people right now don't know the difference between 9-12 and 8-12.
Well,
so I think there's no idea what those weight differences are. Count me included.
1 stone equals 16 pounds. Does that help?
So he's carrying 16 pounds more?
No, yeah.
Holy. So yeah. Put some lead bags on him.
That's fairly significant. And that's my biggest negative in playing that horse. So just to spice it up a little, I took number 4, Brunch, who has draw 5. Winner last time out with William Buick up, and that was the first time he was aboard. It was an illicit race, so Class 1, but he raced against pretty good company. I mean, there were some decent horses in there, and so I like that race a lot. He raced okay at Royal Ascot, finished behind the favorite. He's first 2 races of the year, he got 2 seconds in handicap division races. So they've been slowly but surely moving the horse up. Definitely a step up in company, but his York record is 2 wins and 1 placing from 3 starts. So if you want a horse for course, this one's possibly in that category. And he also likes that good to firm going. So I think he's got a nice chance in here. And right now, what he was sitting at, about 10-1 is the
Lord Glitters?
Have right now.
Brunch? Yeah, 10-1.
10-1. Lord Glitter is 14-1. I took the favorite as my 3rd choice. He's a winner of the last 2 races, including one at Royal Ascot against 29 horses. That's pretty good. But he's only a listed winner. He has no group wins. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the horse. He's raced in Dubai, and he only placed there, so he no wins there. And I question the quality of the horses in that listed race that he won last out, because there's not much there. It's sort of similar to Golden Pal, who, ran a really nice race at Saratoga, but what did he run against? Omaha Beach is not a good horse and not a great horse, and there wasn't anything else in that field. So I kind of fall in that category. I don't know what he beat, and that's my concern.
All right, Terry, and what do you got on top? Who do you think is the one to beat?
Well, I think Tom and I either talked together or whatever, because we picked a lot of the same horses. I like as my first choice, number 1, Lord Glitters. And he's been at this distance 3 times and won 3 times. He's got 2 wins out of 6 starts, and placed 22 times out of 35 races. He's winning 4 races, or 3 out of 4 races at York. And then my second pick is number 6, Real World. He's 2 for 2 on the turf, and he's got 3 wins out of 7 races. Then I like number 4, Brunch. He's got 3 wins, 3 wins I'm sorry, 2 wins and a place out of 4 starts. And he's 4 races at York. He's 3 out of 3, winning 2 of those. And then I like this horse and you're going to laugh at the reason. Number five, Duke of Hazards.
What's your favorite show growing up?
Even though I like it because Mrs. Freedy Hay owns it. But she also owns Bell Rock, so they must be related to me. So
Mrs. Hay.
It looked like me and Tom thought a lot alike on the.
That makes it 3 for 3. I like Real World. 2 big races. You may have faced off against nothing, but you can only race the competition in front of you. Neither one of them were close. So I don't know that you've seen the best out of that horse. It is the favorite. I think it probably will be the favorite there. I like Brunch as well as my second pick. It's a neck away from being undefeated in 3 races on a good track at York. That's what we're going to get tomorrow. Good to firm. And then Laura Glitters and My Oberon. I have those 2 ranked together. They look very similar to me, but the Lord Glitters has won considerably more money per race at York and Lifetime. So that tells me that's been facing better company and likely the class relief here in terms of some of the field that it's matching up against. So for me, 6, 4, 1, and 2, and we are pretty much in agreement, I think, on most of those horses. So look at all the other ones if you want to find the winner.
Yeah, we just gave you all the ones that you should not play.
All the ones that are going to run off the board. Maybe one will hit that. Maybe Terry's, of course. Maybe. The next race we have is the City of York Stakes. This one is, I thought it pretty interesting. You got a couple good favorites in here, a couple decent long shots. Tom, you got any prices here, or are you going to go with Space Blues?
I did go with a price horse. I took number 7, Highland Princess, who has draw 3. Last out, it was a useful race to her, but the comment line said the jockey got his whip stuck in the reins.
How does that
I found it very interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that comment before.
No,
yeah, I also
there's other places I think they can lose it, but not there.
It finished 3rd last out, but it was on soft going, so I'm thinking maybe it just didn't like that soft going. It was her first attempt at group company. Change of the jockey is going to David Allen. David Allen just lost his bug. He also has a win this week at York. She won really big at Royal Ascot in a handicap race that was a real top-notch run by her, and I think that's what convinced them to move her up a little bit. From 17 starts, she has 7 wins and 6 placings. But I want to note that 4 of those wins are on all weather. She has 15 starts at 7 furlongs. So this is her distance. And based on that, I think you're going to get some pretty good odds. Mm-hmm. Or I'd be surprised if you don't.
Well, you're getting 20 to 1 right now. So you can do fixed odds betting over there, right? So go on over and take it if you want.
Yeah, you can. Number 9, Primo Bacco. Draw 7 I took for my second choice. Faced Group 1 company 2 times at Deauville and Newmarket without success. Is a listed race winner at York. So I like that. Drops back in distance and has won at both 7 and a mile. So should be able to handle that. The one thing that bothers me is that it doesn't have a lot of wins, and its win was on an all-weather. But then again, it's raced against Alcohol Free, Mother Earth, Snow Lantern. I can keep going, but you get the idea. Some good
horses, yeah.
Change to Tom Marquette. I like that, and he has ridden this horse before and finished second on it. So, my thing is, I think they're looking to place this horse to get a group win, and this may be the spot. Number 1, draw 4 is my next choice, which is Glorious Journey. Wins a Group 3 at Newmarket, and then they put it up against Starman. Yeah, good luck. This horse is definitely a 7 furlong specialist. So when they put him down to 6, it probably wasn't a good move, and it wasn't. I think the horse has got enough to get somewhere in the money here, and I think you get okay odds.
Well, you get 12 to 1 right now on the fixed odds boards. Terry, where are you heading? I got a feeling I already know where Terry's going to start because his picks are going to mirror mine, or mine are going to mirror his, whichever way you want to look at it. But go ahead and get started with Space
Blues. This way.
Okay, well, I like the number 7 Highfield Princess.
Oh, Lord, you and Tom.
Yeah. And, I like he's had 2 wins in a place.
Forget that horse. I don't have him on my list. Next.
Okay. Well, he's ran 17 times and did very well. And the rider got his whip caught last time in the rain, which meant that he couldn't go very,
Should have ridden him at Monmouth then.
Yeah. And then I like number 6, Space Blues, 11 distance 11 times, won 7 of those. He's had 8 wins out of 16 starts. He's won 5 Class 1 races. And then I like number 4, Safe Voyage, 10 times at this distance, 5 wins, 13 wins out of 34 starts. He's 1 for 1 at York. He broke slow and should do better if he gets a good break this time. He also banged his head on the stalls during the break. So
we had a little talk about that in starters with Trevor McCarthy yesterday. So yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's it.
That's it. Okay. So I think Space Blues can beat the horse. The only other horse, to me, I don't think this race is all that wide open personally. There's 2 horses I think that can win. One of them, Space Blues. You got William Buick, Charles Appleby. Can never go wrong with that combination right there. And the other one is number 4, Safe Voyage. So 1 for 1 at York. And the very few times that this horse has gotten a chance to run on a good track, it ran good races. I like number 3, Pogo. That's my third choice. Pogo, if you look at its past performance lines, it's been running against some really stiff competition. I think this horse is really going to benefit from class relief in here. And then finally, I like Sir Busker. Ran well and hasn't had a very many opportunities to do so on a good surface. So the one time that it did, or the few times that it did, ran exceptionally well. So I like the Space Blues, Sir Busker, Pogo, and I don't remember the other one already. So that's how fast. Safe Voyage. Those are my 4. And then we'll wrap it up with the last race of our week here at the Daily Handicapping Show. We got the Ebor Handicap, and I'm really curious to see was it like 23, 24 horses that are listed?
Yeah.
How many of them that we have in common? So this will be an interesting exercise. So Tom, why don't you start with your lottery numbers, and then Terry can have his.
Yeah, I get my crystal ball out here. I took number 4, Always He Goes, was draw 23. Is my top choice. Second to Truchon, last out at 33 to 1. Had trouble at the start, but recovered and still finished well. Get some class relief here, but this, as I put, this is a tough race. You're going to need to establish position, get cover, and he's outside draw, and all the horses I picked have big draws, so I could be in big trouble because the inside draws are winning most of the races. He hasn't won in over a year, so that bothers me. But I think he may be coming to form. And I know Truchon was scratched yesterday for today's race, but that was a good effort and had problems. So maybe this time around and get. And as I had to make my comment, I put draw sucks. 15, Mr. Linster, 21 draw.
Second choice at 8 to 1. That's a great betting race when the second choice is 8 to 1.
Well, and it hasn't raced since October of 2020. But it has performed well in races where it's carried a lot of weight. So I like that. Loves distance races. I mean, this is definitely its light. And relatively speaking, it's a light, it's a 7-year-old, but it's only raced 15 times. Mm-hmm. So they're obviously bringing this horse to the track when he's ready to go. And after a layoff, he's either won or placed. So I like that angle. And of course, the number of races for a 7-year-old is, pretty light. Yeah. I mean,
easy on the legs.
Yeah. I mean, I think he could win. But I'm thinking more likely a placing is more an accurate way to look at the horse. And another one that's going to be, none of these are going to be short prices, just because of the nature of the beast. But I did take number 10, Sonny Boy Liston, who has draw 14. Again, the draw sucks. Last out at York, the comment was he ran too freely. I thought I'm thinking in a long race, that's not a good thing.
Now he's just up and doing what he wants.
He won a listed race before that. He run in France in a Group 2, losing to a Group 1 winner in Japan. And I think the positive is that Ben Cohen returns to the saddle and has had some good luck on this horse. So I like that.
Terry, and what numbers did you pull out of the hat?
All right. I like number 6, Hamish. He's at this distance. He's won twice, ran it twice, won twice. He's got 3 wins and 2 places in 7 starts, and he's 2 for 2 at York. And then I like a way outside horse, number 23. I guess he's starting from the 16 post. He Live Your Dreams.
Is he in there? I didn't see him.
23 isn't in there?
23, because I was looking for him. I had him on one of mine too, so I think maybe he's not in the race.
No, yeah, he was on the list too.
Oh, okay.
He was 23 or 24.
He was number 23, yeah, but I had him on the top of my picks.
Yeah, they didn't draw him, so
that's why I was scrolling around a little bit earlier. I was like, wait a minute, where's my horse? All right, never mind.
Yeah, I thought he had, because they had him at post position number 16, and then their other horse that I liked, they didn't have anything. So anyway, okay, well, let's go with the next one, number 16, Global Storm. He's distanced twice. He's won 1 time. He's had 3 wins and 4 places out of 12 starts, and he performs well at today's distance. Then I like number 3. I don't know.
Rob?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He hasn't been at this distance, but he has 6 wins out of 8 starts, and so he's 2 for 2 at York. He was held up on June 19th towards the rear on the inside to start with. And then here's the race that I would take, number 6 in exacta with all, and then all with number 6.
6 all 6. That's Terry's betting strategy for this race with 24 horses. So that's like 20 or 22 horses. That's $40 for $1.
Yep.
So you better hope that a shot come. Well, I mean, there's some shots that come
There's
in.
more than one shot in this race, yes.
There's plenty of shots. For
and you
sure.
could always play the Omni Swinger if you prefer, instead
Yep,
of the exacta.
All right. So for me, my top pick scratched too. So that I had a 23. So I'm going to go. I put together the 2 and the 3. Fujiara Prince and Erob as together. I said there's really not much difference between the 2, in my opinion. They were my second and third choices. But Fujiara Prince has done a lot better job of winning money at York than Erob has. So I'm going with Fujiara Prince as my top choice over Erob. And then I have Global Storm, like Terry, the 16 horse, as my third pick. Where is Global Storm? Down here. He's 14-1. The horse has got on a good surface 6 times and has 4 super high quality starts. And because the 23 was knocked out, so I had the 4, the 10, and the 14 is other options. So here's the 4. Away he goes. Humanitarian is another one. And I don't know where the 10 horse is. So wherever he is, there he is. Sonny Boy Liston. Those are the others that I was considering. But the 3 that I wrote down are 2, 3, and 16. So I think you take all of our numbers together and box them. You might come away with something.
$2,400 trifecta, huh?
Yeah, man, that would have been the deal today. I would have taken the day off for sure. Could use one.
I wouldn't blame you.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, so already I did the thing earlier this morning. If you haven't caught it out with Tom, I love Carly, not Tom, 22-1 Tom, and we talked about the setup for the 2 big races for the Breeders' Cup winning you're in, the Pacific Classic and the Del Mar Handicap. We went through the profile of a winner for the past 10 in both races. We went through the pace setup, both early and late. And then we talked a little bit about each horse. And then, of course, we made our picks at the end. So it should be interesting to see how they play out, because we had some very widely different opinions on some of the horses in both races. So it just goes to show you with horse racing how people can look at the same data and come away with completely different ideas on which horse is probably going to be the best horse in the field. Tom decided to play away from history. I decided to play into history. We'll see if history repeats or not. And then a little bit later on today, it's a little bit too late for that, but tomorrow you can join us for the Del Mar contest over at Horse Racing Radar. It's $100. I'll be on. You can share your Saturday night with me. Just joy and glee, of course. But we'll be talking about every single race at Del Mar. Again, we'll look back at the previous meet, every single race at the distances and surfaces to get an idea of what the track bias is for the post positions and the distance and surface. Again, pace setup. And then, of course, we'll make our picks. While you're here, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. You can follow us, as you see on there, at Racing Radar, both on Facebook and Twitter. Let us know what you think. And, of course, tell your friends about us. That'll help us grow. Terry, Tom, any parting thoughts before you both get to go on a vacation for the rest of the weekend?
Enjoy the international racing. There's also some good races at the Curragh this weekend, and also in Deauville. There's on Saturday and Sunday there are group races, and they could have some Breeder Cup implications.
Yes, these international races do. Terry?
Yeah, I plan on meeting my siblings at an off-track betting facility and playing Ferndale, one of my favorite tracks. Even though the fields are very small and they won't pay too much, probably I'm going to have a great time. But I'll also be playing Del Mar. So.
Any mule or donkey races?
No, the mules.
I'm not racing.
They're not racing a fair circuit. They're protesting that they're not being paid enough in the purses like the thoroughbreds. So they're having a protest about that.
Was not aware of that.
Yeah. I did not know that the donkeys were protesting. Oh, well.
Yep,
what can you do about the donkeys?
Well, we got lots of jackasses out there. So
Pun.
I can tell you my wife's very disappointed because she loves to watch them run because they do some crazy things sometimes.
For sure.
They can go in many directions.
They can, yeah.
And then Terry and I will be back on Monday at 1 o'clock Eastern to do our daily Horse Racing Today show, where we cover news, opinions, and analysis. And we're going to be adding a new bet to our daily routine, and that is the Joey Parlay, where Terry and I will pick 3 horses that we expect will finish either first or second, and then we'll press our bet. So we'll start with $20 each, and we'll see what we can grow our bankrolls into over the course of the show. Until we meet again, folks, as always, good luck at the races, and may we see you in the winner's circle.